Greet on this channel. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Dr. Orobosa, and I am the founder and host here at the For Health Scholars community. I'm so excited to have you here. Make sure you watch the videos that you need and want, and definitely subscribe to the channel and turn on your post notifications. I promise the content that I share with the community is something you don't want to miss out on. And so thank you for watching today's video, and I look forward to meeting you in the comments. Now, today's conversation is a good one, and it's for my aspiring doctoral students or doctoral students who are probably in the first year of their doctorate program. And specifically, I want to talk about the Doctor of Healthcare Administration capstone. So when I started my doctoral process, there wasn't a lot of information out there about the Doctor of Healthcare Administration capstone process. And it really just depended on me reading other candidates' papers and it just kind of piecing together information from other industries to know how to effectively navigate this process. And one of the things that I said, and I told God that if He allowed me to graduate from this program, that I would pay it forward by sharing all that I have learned in that process with others who are becoming behind me. And so, hence the birth of the For Health Scholars platform, hence the birth of me sharing information with you with the hopes that you will take what I've shared with you and you apply it to become your own doctor of healthcare administration. So, without further ado, let's jump into the conversation. Now, my very first video that I posted on the For Health Scholars channel was talking about what it takes to become a doctor of healthcare administration. So I will link that video in the description box. And that is a great place to start if you're serious about becoming a doctor of healthcare administration. But to quickly recap, what is a DHA degree? This is a doctor of healthcare administration degree. It is a terminal degree. So once you graduate, you do become a doctor of healthcare administration. But this particular degree program prepares you for leadership roles in the healthcare fields. And so this is considered a professional doctorate. And because of most curriculums catering to it being a professional doctorate, you are really learning advanced knowledge as a doctoral student about what it takes to lead healthcare organizations effectively. And so you explore everything from healthcare management, policy, and you have a focus of improving access and affordability to healthcare services. Now, as a graduate of a DHA program, you are able to work in leadership roles at various healthcare systems, long-term care facilities, and governmental agencies. Also, you may be able to work as a consultant or even go into academia. So if you love the research aspect of the program, you can continue to become a professional researcher. Or if you like teaching like myself, you can go into academia. And so I'm here to tell you with this degree, it has so many opportunities for you, but the process is something that you really need to understand before you even sign up to do this degree. Because if you don't have a comprehensive understanding of what you're about to embark on, you will be quickly frustrated in this process. Trust me, I know. Now, what is a doctoral capstone? Well, this is the final project that you complete before you graduate as the Doctor of Healthcare Administration. Now, this project, it is comprehensive and it really shows your scholarly mastery and endeavors in the field of healthcare administration. You must prove to reviewers, to your department, and to your supervisor or mentor that you are capable to becoming an expert in the field of healthcare administration. And so that doctoral capstone is like your final project. Now, the purpose of the doctoral capstone is to really provide you an opportunity to demonstrate your mastery of what you know about healthcare administration and the skills that you have acquired through your doctoral journey. Now, the capstone, it is cumulative. So it should encompass everything that you learn as a doctoral student, as a doctoral candidate, and as a professional in the field of healthcare administration. It is your final achievement, and your doctoral capstone determines whether you are going to make it to the other side of being called a doctor of healthcare administration. Now, I'm here to tell you that my doctoral process was in many ways rewarding, other ways helped me grow as a professional. It is not always easy, as I shared in my words of wisdom for the day. It can be challenging, but on the opposite side of adversity and challenges is so many rewards. And I'm so happy that I was able to stick the course because not only did I become the first doctor in my family, but also you really don't see so many professionals who are doctors of healthcare administration like look like me. So I'm here to tell you that if you are considering to doing a DHA degree, I encourage you to do it, but I want to also make sure that you are thoroughly prepared for the process and the journey ahead. Now, when do you start working on your doctoral capstone? It's usually around year 3. So the first 2 years of your doctoral program, you're working on didactic courses here in the US. Other countries, their doctoral process looks a little different. But here in the US, on average, you do about 2 years of didactic coursework. Some degree programs require you to do a doctoral candidacy exam and pass that exam before you can be promoted into doctoral candidate. So when you first start, you're a doctoral student. Then once you pass that exam or meet the requirement to become a doctoral candidate, you will now be promoted up to doctoral candidacy. And when you say doctoral candidacy, that means you are working towards becoming a doctor and you're at the dissertation or capstone stage of your program. So keep that in mind. Year 3, you're working on your doctoral capstone, you're doing the rough drafts, you're doing revisions, and then by year 4, you're submitting it for approval. Now, do note the doctoral process is not linear in nature, meaning that it's not straightforward, like how you experience in your bachelor's program or even your master's program. The doctoral process has so many different curves, and each milestone requires an extensive level of work. And so, ideally, the program may tell you that you will complete your degree in 3 years, 4 years, but that may not be the case because one thing that is different in the doctoral program that you didn't experience at the master's and undergraduate level is navigating reviewers. Reviewers who do not work for your university most of the time. Reviewers who are from other institutions who are reviewing your manuscript and determining whether you are an expert in the field, whether you have the capabilities and the mastery of knowledge to be called a doctor of healthcare administration. It is that one of the highest degrees that you can achieve in the educational system. So the process, it is not straightforward. At times it can be a little challenging, but on the opposite side, trust me, it is rewarding. And then year 4, ideally, you would get approved. They'll send you a notification that congratulations, Dr. So and so. But it's not linear, but ideally, because the professional doctorate, because that's what a DHA is a little shorter than your PhD. You usually get it about in 3 to 4 years, depending on how well you're able to accomplish your program deliverables. Now, there are different types of doctoral capstones, because remember, the doctoral capstone is your final project. So the doctoral capstone can be a dissertation, it can be an applied research project, it can be a portfolio, it can be a case study analysis, it can be a program evaluation, or it can be a creative project. But when you see this list, don't think that one is easier than the other. No, this is all comprehensive research, okay? It's not like, oh, I'll do a creative project. Absolutely not. That's not how it works. So let's talk about the different types. So the dissertation is more common. It's the traditional type of doctoral capstone that involves you creating original research in a specific area of study. And through your research, you're going to write this comprehensive manuscript that presents your findings, your analysis, and conclusions. Then you have an applied research project. And this is what I did. So applied research project is a 2-part process. So the first part of the process is that you have to do a practicum at a given organization site. And based on your study at that site, you now write a dissertation type manuscript. Okay, so it's not like, oh, the applied research project is easier than the dissertation. No, one is not easier than the other. But the difference between the dissertation and the applied research process is that in the applied research project, you're not creating new knowledge, but rather you're looking at a problem that's within the site that you have identified, and now you're creating a comprehensive manuscript to solve that problem. And you have to use already published literature to be able to support your solution and plan of action. So my manuscript was about 188 pages long, and you can use your dissertation or even project to publish smaller papers. So keep that in mind. That's postdoctoral work. But the applied research project is the capstone and involves research methods, findings to solve real world problems at a given healthcare system. Then you have a doctoral portfolio, and a portfolio capstone is a collection of works that demonstrates your mastery from the beginning of your doctoral program to as you're proceeding to conclude the program. And it includes research papers, case studies, presentations, and other types of scholarly work. So once again, do not think one is easier than the other. Absolutely not. They all have their own list of demands. Then you have the doctoral case study analysis, and this is a type of capstone that involves evaluating a specific case or situation in the field. And based on your evaluation, you now write a comprehensive research manuscript, providing recommendations for future practice. So you see this a lot potentially in a Doctor of Nursing Practice professional doctorate degree. Sometimes you may see this in the DSW, so the Doctor of Social Work degree. Then you have a doctoral program evaluation, and this is where you're evaluating the effectiveness of a specific program or intervention in your respective field, which in this case, it would be healthcare administration. And the goal is for you to identify areas for improvement or refinement. So you have to come and make recommendations and prove why these recommendations would be effective in addressing the specific program or intervention that you're suggesting. And then lastly, you have the doctoral creative project. Now, some doctoral programs allow students to complete a creative project as their capstone. So they may write a novel or a film or performance or work of art. So this is more for your creative arts and fine arts majors who are becoming a doctor in their respective field. And now they have to write a writing component that explains the creative process and their rationale behind it. So one is not better than the other. They all require extensive work. Now, how do you determine which type of capstone to complete? Well, there's several factors that comes into play. So first things first, you have to go with the university requirements. So depending on what the university says and your program requirements, that is the type of capstone you would do. Now, most PhD programs, you're going to write a dissertation. Professional doctorates, you have multiple avenues. You can do a dissertation, you can do applied research project, you can do a creative portfolio, you can do a program evaluation or a case study analysis. But also, here is the you part of your doctoral capstone, because although you're writing research, you still have to insert your you in the most ethical and professional way. So you will determine what capstone type works best for you based on your academic goals and interest. So keep that in mind. If you want to create original research, then writing a dissertation may be best for you. So you may do a PhD program. But if you want to do an applied research project, DHA, professional doctorate may be right for you. Now, what are the steps of completing a doctoral capstone? So the first thing you need to do is select your topic. Then after you selected your topic, you're going to conduct an extensive literature review. So go into the existing body of literature, pull in articles, and not just saying you agree with these articles, but also finding articles that kind of argue your topic or your stance on your capstone. Then after you've conducted an extensive literature review, you will now write your research proposal. So no matter if you're doing a dissertation or to a creative project, you have to write a research proposal. So that proposal has to be approved by your university, but also approved by what we call the IRB, which is the Institutional Review Board. They have to approve it. Then after you've written your research proposal, you're going to start to execute by collecting and analyzing data. So in the dissertation phase, you're collecting new data. Your applied research phase, you're doing your hours at your practicum. You're collecting data from there. And so is it for the remaining types of doctoral capstones. After you've collected and analyzed your data, you begin to write your manuscript. After you've written the first draft of your manuscript, you go into the revision stage, because the first draft will never be the draft. It's very rare you hear somebody says, oh, the first time I wrote my dissertation, it got approved, or my capstone project, it got approved. Absolutely not. It has to go through the revision process, because that is what the research process is all about. So the research process is systematic, but it's also meticulous. Then after you revise your manuscript, you submit the final manuscript for review. Now, I want to talk about the doctoral practicum, and I'm going to do another video of this to talk about this concept in detail. But really briefly, a doctoral practicum is usually associated with an applied research project. And a doctoral practicum is a supervised experimental learning opportunity where you go to a particular site and you investigate a problem that they have and apply your knowledge in existing literature to try to solve that problem. So you may go to, in the case of a DHA, you may do your practicum at a hospital or a clinic or a healthcare organization. Now, do note, the practicum is not the same as an internship, externship, or fellowship. This is an opportunity where you work with an organization to identify a real world problem. And now as a researcher, you're going to come and write recommendations to help solve that problem if you can solve the problem. Right? So keep that in mind. Now, what are some of the benefits of completing a DHA capstone? Well, there are a few benefits. So, the first benefit is that you acquire a mastery of knowledge and skills in the field of healthcare administration. You are able to gain and execute real world application. You're contributing to the existing body of literature and contributing to the healthcare field via your research. It gives you opportunities for professional growth and career advancement. And also, it's just a personal achievement. You now become a doctor once your manuscript is approved. And I'm telling you, it's the most rewarding feeling. It took me 5 years to complete my program, but the day they conferred my degree, I got the email that said, "Congratulations, Dr. Owie." It just made everything worth it. It made the 6 other times that I got rejected worth it because it let me know that I am not a victim, but a victor, and that I have what it takes to be an expert in the field. So, once again, I encourage you, if this is something that you feel like is a desire of yours to get a doctorate degree, specifically in the field of healthcare administration, go for it because it is challenging along the way, but the rewards are so beneficial. Because I became a doctor, I got a pay raise in my academic teaching positions. That's always great. I am now seen as an expert in the field. I have a body of literature that I can use to break down in smaller papers. I am continuing my doctoral initiatives because my doctoral research focused on human capital development from a leadership perspective. And I believe the For Health Scholars platform is allowing me the opportunity to continue my research efforts. I'm working on publishing some more papers and to get in some of the articles. And the doctoral process prepared me for that on what it takes to become a professional researcher. So the opportunities of becoming a doctor of healthcare administration, it is immense in nature, but it's going to take great skill and mastery and the right strategy to get your capstone done. So definitely download the guide, and I'm working on maybe creating some type of mentorship program for individuals who are wanting some external mentorship as you are completing your DHA degree. And so I'll keep you posted here on the channel. But once again, as always, thank you for tuning in to today's episode. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share. And until the next video, bye for now.